So you're home from the service. What was your first job?
With Publicker Industry, they made whiskey down in near the piers in Philadelphia. And they had, seeing they always had union problems, and there'd be walkouts, so I quit there. And then I worked at ITE Circuit Breakers. I think it was at 19th and Hamilton in Philly. And they had a layoff. And I went to GE. I got a job at GE. I was recruited. Somehow they must have found out I was a ball player. And I was a wireman at GE and played on their baseball team.
So were there any perks of being a baseball player and employee at GE?
Yeah, we just leave a little early from work and he'd buy us dinner. We never got paid. And,
so other companies also had teams?
oh yeah, in Philadelphia, it was the industrial league was a big thing back in them days. These big major companies had baseball teams, and we played against each other.
Do you remember where any of the fields were? Did your company have a field at the plant?
General Electric had a field down in southwest Philadelphia, and it wasn't far from the plant. Yeah.
So what other teams, kind of teams did you play?
They were industrial teams, like Philco and Heinz Manufacturing. He'd get games all over with the top color teams in Philadelphia. I mean, we always had a game. I was always playing ball.
So how did they find out about you? So somebody got
Somebody
you
must have. I made the All-Star team in Philadelphia in Paul Johnson Memorial League. And I had the honor of batting against Howard Empke. This is a retired Hall of Fame pitcher. I was on the All-Star team when we were playing the Philadelphia Hot Stovers. That was all the best players in Philadelphia. After they retired, they became this team. And Howard Empke was guest of honor, and he pitched the first inning, and I was the third batter. He ground ball right to shortstop. It was an honor that
Was he a former major leaguer?
Yeah, Howard Empke was All-American, All-Pro, Philadelphia Athletics. It's a Hall of Famer we're talking about.
So at the same time you were playing for GE, you were also playing for Mitchell and Passons?
Yeah.
So who were did Mickey Dean play on those teams? Who else played on those
Mickey
teams?
Dean was a pitcher. He didn't play for General Electric, but he played for Passons and Mitchell. And I had played against Graterford Prison. Had the best game of my career, and something I'm so proud of. I had 2 home runs in that game, and I got an intentional walk.
Wow.
Now that, to me, was an honor, but I got out stealing.
So what was it like being in the prison?
It was fine. You walked in with your gear. You walked in, they closed the door behind you. You signed the book, and then you went in to another room where you dressed and played the game, and then you came back out, and you had to sign your name beside the name you had already signed. Make sure you weren't sneaking out.
So when you were in there, did you see one of your buddies from the neighborhood?
It was Jeff Sweeney. First of all, I'm on first base, and the first baseman said to me, "I see you St. Gabriel's." And he said, "You're from South Philly?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know Jeff Sweeney?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "He's sort of a relative of ours. Whether he was or not, I don't know, like a first cousin, second cousin." And he's down there playing handball. He says, "I'll get him for you." So he must have sent word down. So Jeff Sweeney came down after the game. I talked to him. But he was the witness that I did hit the 2 home runs in one game.
About that.
He told my brother Bud.
So you eventually quit GE. You didn't like working there?
General Electric?
Yeah.
Yes, I was a wireman, and they had the big switch gear, and I'd be on one side, and they would spray it with this red lead on the other side to prepare it for the painting. They were supposed to take it down to the paint shop, but it was piecework, and it just bothered my head, and I just said I quit. They said I couldn't quit. I said I quit. And they sent for my uniform. I told my wife Peggy, we lived in West Philly at the time, I said, you can give him my uniform, but I had this jacket that we got for winning the industrial leg. I said, don't give him that. So that was the end of that.